Welcome to Nerdy Drunk and Stoned. It's April 12th, 2020. My name is Adam. I'm joined by Jason and Mike. Hey guys, what have y'all been up to this week?
Jason?
Oh, me? Final Fantasy, the end.
And don't dive too deep into Final
I'm
Fantasy.
not.
because
That's
we're gonna
Final
get there.
Fantasy. I wake up and I play Final Fantasy, and then I stay up enormously too late, and I wake up and I do it again.
And
Talk
you
about
delay podcasts for one day.
talk about butchering a remake.
Fuck you.
Come on. Like,
No, just shut the fuck up.
from what-
And
We're
Don't dive
not
too
doing
deep.
we're not doing the full Final Fantasy thing this second.
I just-
other than Final Fantasy, though, I mean, the occasional Animal Crossing, played a bit of Mountain Blade this week, but it's really just been Final Fantasy. So
it's good. I've been catching up on some TV shows. I have a Picard review for us.
Oh yeah.
Did you finish it?
Yes, I did finish
You did.
Picard.
Oh boy.
And I did finish Castlevania.
Okay.
And I think that's about it for me. But yeah, Castlevania, you guys got to watch that. I'm pretty sure it's an American produced anime, but it's so good.
I think I saw only the first episode.
I
It's
have a
on
lot
Netflix,
of
right?
Yes, it's all on Netflix. People, I mean, I have a bunch of people in my life that speak very highly of it. I mean, the ratings are very good too. I mean, it's clearly a good show. I'll get around to it at some point. See
Yeah.
here.
I agree. I mean, but getting back to the elephant in the room, I want to jump right into Final Fantasy.
Oh
Like,
God.
I really want to know your opinions on it. I'm sure all of our fans are dying to know what you
Yeah.
guys. So, Adam, I've been watching you play. Thoughts, comments, concerns.
I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It is a ton of fun. I was worried at first whenever I played the demo because I wasn't sure how the sort of action RPG element was gonna work.
Is that what gave you concern in the demo? Was just like the combat system?
Yeah, the combat system itself, how that would work with materia and summoning. Now that I have summons and have seen the materia system, I'm much less concerned. First of all, the materia seems to be untouched. It's 100%. It's perfect. The summoning, it seems that they tried to borrow from Final Fantasy 15 while also keeping as pure Final Fantasy 7 as they could. So they have that ultimate attack, but you get to use the summon as an ally and like fight with them.
Yeah, but the summon really only comes into place in a boss battle. You know, like it's more set in stone. Where those classic games, a summon can be used anytime, any fight. Where this game, it's a set like, hey, look, now's a good time to use them. Like, you know, the game tells you when you can use it. So
that part is frustrating, and I think a really bad design decision. Honestly, I don't think.
It does make them feel a little worthless. I mean, don't get me wrong, you need them for the boss fights a lot of the times, but yeah, I mean, you fucking forget about it until it pops up, and you're like,
as long as the game tells you, hey,
yeah. I won't
got
even notice
summons.
it. I won't even notice the summon bar, and then fucking it'll be like halfway through a fight, and I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I should use that. Fuck.
No, what's annoying is I have summon on 3 different characters.
Yeah,
And
well,
a summon bar pop up, and I've got to scroll through my characters to find out whose summon gets to be activated.
but you can pause it, you know, or not pause it. You can go into your action menu, so you're not really, you know, it's not really that big of a detriment.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have to do that. Is my point.
But does
if anything, you could, instead of summon, they could just put the summon's name and have the bar.
But does it give you, like, while you're playing it, like, obviously, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake, but do you think, does it give you that old school feeling? Because it's so different?
Not from gameplay. The art direction and the characters, the setting and the feel of the game, I would say is the same. Especially because of their soundtrack. You can say whatever you want about the game. Their soundtrack is like an 11 out of 10. I mean, it's ridiculously good. So the game, in terms of, I guess, like the lore, feels the same. That all feels exact. Man, wow, I'm in Megar. But when it comes to your combat system, no. I mean, no, it doesn't feel anything like that was turn-based. This is action RPG. I didn't play Final Fantasy 15, but I guess it's akin to that. So
it feels very similar. Even
I heard it's better.
This is definitely better than Final Fantasy 15. Even in the quote unquote classic mode, which I like trial run in in the demo, all classic mode does is your characters fight on their own. And then when they're not fighting, you choose abilities and spells. So you basically watch the fight, and then you choose, okay, the ATB bar is full. Now I'm going to use this spell or use this action. Their classic mode is silly.
Yeah, it's not turn-based. It's not truly classic. I heard allegedly they're going to patch that in. I think with a future update they want to add in the original turn-based system. So,
Jason, how quickly did you change the audio settings to Japanese? I have to know.
I had a joke after the end of the first day. I almost did it. I was like, I'm gonna turn this to Japanese, but I didn't. The voice acting in the game is good enough that it didn't bother me. I honestly think like Barrett's voice actor, whoever that guy is, dude, he knocks it out of the park. He honestly, like, at this point,
him and Cloud, personally, I think
Cloud is good, but
Barrett's perfect. But
Cloud is a quiet man. He's a man of few words. But Barrett's like his voice actor, and I guess just the writing that they gave him. He, to me, feels like the most fleshed out, like the most human character out of everyone in the game. Yeah, he's a no nonsense like badass, but he still feels human. They give him like human moments where Cloud doesn't really break that fucking quiet guy facade. But I mean, even then, just the voice acting gives so much depth to like Tifa and Aerith. Every character, like they did such a good job on the voice acting and like just their lines in general. Like it really gives them unique personalities that, I mean, let's be real, on a PlayStation 1 polygon text box, I can't, oh my god, how could you do that? And you're just reading it in a text box. You're like, yeah, okay, what the fuck ever. Like, get to the fight. I don't care.
My biggest thing, Sephiroth in English and Sephiroth in Japanese is a big difference.
I think that
he is much more intimidating.
Because you don't know what he's saying. I'm sure if you were Japanese, you'd be saying the same shit. If you were Japanese, you'd be like, whoa, man, in English, he just sounds like a badass. That's because he's just
No one thinks English sounds scary, okay?
If you don't understand it, I'm sure it sounds scary. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the mystique, Oh, wow, listen to that. But if you spoke Japanese, you'd be like, wow, this guy sounds like a fucking sissy. Got it.
What do you think of Roach?
Oh,
and their idea to add.
We're only gonna talk about it. Okay, fine, fuck it.
Mike wanted to dive right in, so we're diving face first.
Hey,
that's
I know who
fine.
Roche is. I'm ready.
Roche.
Oh, hey, just a quick sidebar, Mike. You were right about Castlevania. The main studio that produces it is actually out of Austin, Texas. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about American anime that you can just
can tell immediately, man.
Yeah. It could still be drawn by a Japanese dude, but you can tell it was drawn in America.
It's something with these American pencils or something.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I see something American in the edges.
Honestly, I think it's more of what is more digestible for the American audience. Not as opposed to like you look at something that's like
it's not children masturbating to that's now body.
I don't know. Honestly, me personally, I think Western anime styles are. I don't know. I think they're kind of ugly. Like as a kid, I didn't like them, but like traditional, Japanese anime styles, those are very appealing and eye-catching to me. It's more visually interesting.
The Western styles, though, have become like the classic. That's what I feel. They are trying to recreate, probably because generationally, the people that are working on them now are the people that grew up with the classics.
Or like the 90s and 80s anime.
Yeah, so what you see as American anime is what you saw growing up. I mean, it's a theory, but...
It's a good theory.
I could be wrong, but I think it makes sense.
Anyway, that was my sidebar, just to say that you were correct. You have an eye for those Western pencils. So,
anyway, back to
Roach.
Roach.
Adding characters to a classic game.
Okay. Okay. All right. Look, clearly they're taking some liberties with the game. There's a whole. The game is a 1-to-1 remake, fleshed out in ways that are so fucking deep to all these side characters, but there's definitely like a little side thing happening in the game that is not from the original. And yeah, they added in a few characters. A lot of them are just side characters, but that Roach guy, I guess he's a soldier. Yeah, he's over the top and flamboyant, and he feels like a fucking anime character, but I don't know. I mean, whatever. I fought him once. He went away. Hopefully he never comes back.
He's gonna come back. I
felt like it's like, look, this is your traditional Final Fantasy, and then someone dropped like Advent Children or Crisis Core. Like, quick, get a character, put him right here, and then like it just keeps going. Like, yeah, he felt a little out of place to me.
Did Cloud need that? Did Cloud really need like a rival? Like he's already has
Sephiroth.
No, what I don't get is what I don't get. I think it was because it took so long to get to the Aerith portion with what's his name? Who's the redhead guy?
Oh, Reno. You're talking about the Turk.
It took so long to get to Reno and the other Turk before you get to Aerith. Oh no, she actually is with Aerith. It took so long to get to all the Turks that they felt like they needed to implement someone that was of Cloud's
Cloud. Yeah, his caliber. Look, I get it. I thought it was really neat. I was like, oh, that's cool. There's an actual, like, I guess, soldier first class, whatever Cloud and Sephiroth and even Zack, what they were considered. Yeah. I was like, this is neat. This is neat for them to introduce another soldier to balance the scales. But the character himself is over the top and ridiculous. Like I said, it felt like a Crisis Core character to me. It just... If they had made him more serious, just more of a professional, even to the extent of something like Reno or Rude, the way the Turks, like, look, this is our job. I'm here to stop you.
They're business.
Yeah, and you can look at, again, Zack, Cloud, or Sephiroth. All these people are first-class soldiers. It's because they're the best of the best of the best. And then you just have, like, this fucking dumb guy. I don't know.
Oh, finally a challenge.
Maybe the Japanese really like him. I don't know. Maybe they really go in for that shit.
I got a challenge. I'm excited. It's fucking Goku.
No, that's fine. I would have been fine with that. But his motorcycle's doing fucking 1080 Tony Hawk's over here.
Mike was commenting on it because I was streaming it while I was playing it. And Mike was just like,
look, and it's fine. Yeah, it's fine to have an element of like fantasy, like, okay, you're soldiers, so you're enhanced by Mako, so you can jump high and do these things.
It's Mako, Jason. Mako.
My mistake. But Mako, your motorcycle doesn't have Mako in it. Your motorcycle can't fucking jump and fly, and I mean, it's
even on a practicality level. he's literally going from point A to point B, and he decides to do like a 360 spin, and then a jump in the air, followed by another 360 spin just to get to the other side of the street.
Yeah, It's just to do it again, just cause. Yeah, I don't know. It's a JRPG, man. I mean,
but that's the besides his look and the way he acts, very Crisis Core, very extra, like.
Yeah, it's like that extended Final Fantasy VII universe where they just started. I forget what the characters' names are in Crisis Core. I played it like 2 years ago.
I don't even know what Crisis Core is.
That was a PSP game. It followed Zack's story up until he dies, which happens in Final Fantasy VII.
Spoilers.
And there were spoilers. But there was they had like one or two original characters that were with him and Sephiroth, and they were very like flamboyant and over the top. I would like quote Shakespeare and all this shit because. I guess that's what people like, right? I don't know, That's why all these other Final Fantasies have been so successful.
Well,
because they haven't had Sephiroth.
Elephant in the room here. What is going on with these ghosts, man? Come on. Like, what is this Final Fantasy or is this Ghostbusters?
It's Kingdom Hearts.
Jason seems to like
or
be less negative. So let's touch Jason before I just tear into this fucking thing.
That's fine. Look, I think it is a clever idea to try to add some kind of new plot element to a game that is. It's going to be 150 hours stretched between 3 games. As one of my friends put it, the Final Fantasy VII Remake makes Final Fantasy looks like Cliff Notes.
Quick pause. Sure. How many hours are you in?
30, 34 maybe.
And you're
I just got Red 13. Yeah, I got Red 13 in the Shinra building. I can't imagine.
So let's assume the game is 40 hours.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, so but all I'm saying is you have a 40-hour game that was 5 to 8 hours of the original game, and I might even be giving that, a boost. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, fuck, I'm off topic. What were we talking about? Oh, the fucking ghost.
The ghost.
Yeah, look, if it was a 1-to-1 remake, it's beautiful and it's great, but I think it might be like a little uninteresting. I don't know. I think it's a neat attempt at something. Some kind of entity that is, I don't know, trying to influence the future, make things happen how they're supposed to. I think it's an interesting twist on a remake. Will it pay off? Was Kingdom Hearts good? No. So, I'm afraid it might get too.
Are you attacking Kingdom Hearts?
Only Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. Kingdom Hearts 1 is good. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a great game, but the story, no one's got to say that Kingdom Hearts has a good fucking story. Okay?
I thought you were saying that you thought the ghosts and everything represented the game almost referencing the original.
No, they're in my mind.
You think the ghosts are the creator's way of showing that not only is this a remake, but we're actually speaking back to the past.
I think that the ghosts, their primary function is to stop things in the plot that are about to happen differently from the original. I don't know if that's going to actually mean something, if you're going to be able to change fate by defeating these ghosts or something. Up until this point in the game, they have not succeeded. But it's very clearly like oh, look, this is happening different. Quick, the ghosts show up and they fucking change it. It's happened 10 times throughout the game, and it course corrects to be what the original was. I mean, they're adding that in because you wouldn't add that in if something wasn't going to change. What's going to change? Aerith dying? Possibly, I think that's where they're going with it. I really think that's where they're going.
If that doesn't happen...
No. Look. Hear me out. It's 15 years from now. We have part 2. It's finally out on PS7, and the big ending is here comes Aerith's death at the hands of Sephiroth, but somehow you've learned to defeat fate and beat these ghosts and change something. And then there's this realization that you can change your fate, whatever's supposed to happen. So now, yes, it takes away from that moment, but for original fans, it would be like a holy shit. Like, now what's part 3 gonna be? If you can change fate, like change the outcome of the future. Like, I think if that's where they go with it anyway, that could be super interesting to me. Or maybe they'll just shit on the original game really hard. I don't know.
It is.
That's what I think.
Hearts-ish, the ghost.
It reminds me of something they would do in, say, Kingdom Hearts. Mm-hmm. I don't think it feels out of place as a player. It's a little frustrating. I'm very frustrated at times. Like, I think when they're gonna drop the plate, the ghosts basically show up and make that happen. And that whole part was just I was like, man, it's frustrating because as a player, I'm like, I'm getting excited, like, wow, this is going to happen differently, and then the ghosts are like, no, it's not. And I'm just like, man, come the fuck on, dude. Like, I want to see shit change. No, I want to see a difference. I don't know.
That's why I think because of these things have been happening, I'm looking at the title of a remake as possibly an artistic choice, that they're in a way remaking the game. They're going to follow a similar plot with the same characters and the same story, but they're remaking it. And not remaking it as in remastering, because it's not a remastered edition, it's a remake. So are they remaking Final Fantasy VII for a new generation with the depth and technology that's available?
I think it's undoubtedly.
So at the end,
for a new generation, I don't know. You really think a lot of the side shit, stretching out Jesse, Biggs, and Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge, you think stretching their stories out to like 10 or 20 hours? I really think that's
no.
Like, if I was not a fan of the original, I would probably feel a little bogged down. Like, damn, when is this? Maybe I wouldn't know any better. Maybe I wouldn't be like expecting, well, when's the next big thing coming up? Because I never played the game.
So I guess the argument would be, do you feel that Final Fantasy VII Remake dives deeper into the story?
100%.
Or re-envisions the story altogether?
No, it's a one-to-one story.
It's
remake.
Deeper, it's more developed, they don't skip anything. All they do is expand and grow.
Yeah, if anything...
The question is whether or not that is better.
Well, for an original fan... I think absolutely. Again, I just referenced Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge. They get 10, 20 hours of screen time before they're, rip, unfortunately. But in the original game, you talk to them like 15 times in a little text box. And then, Barrett's like, oh my god, they killed Wedge and Biggs and Jesse. And you're like, who the fuck were they? Like, oh, they were those guys I did that one thing with. Okay,
spoilers,
like
Jackson, spoilers.
Like, these are 20-year-old spoilers, man.
He does have a point, though. He does have a point. I mean, they do. They do kind of feel like what's I don't
expendable.
Even know very expendable.
Absolutely. Yeah, and in this one, you're meeting her parents and her sick dad and shit. And I'm sitting here as a player going, are they really gonna kill her? Like, they're still gonna kill her,
that shit
right?
was out. When I started doing that, I was like, wow, this is getting dark.
Which is why when you talk about these ghosts, whether anything will change or not, and whether this was intentional, it gives like, I'm playing the game going like, wow, they're fleshing Jesse's character out so much. And with the inclusion of these ghosts, is there a way maybe she won't die? Like, is that where they're going to go with this story? So even though I know that her death is coming, there's still like, just because those ghosts are there, you start thinking like, is this going to be different? Like, it literally gives me as a player like doubt about what's going to happen in the story. Even though so far it's played out one-to-one exactly how it's supposed to. There's like, I'm getting little like oh my god, maybe this is going to happen different. Oh, fuck, it didn't. Damn it.
Can I just say, as a player, expanding characters like Jesse, it feels almost as if it's turning into a dating sim. Because you have Jesse hitting on Cloud, you have Tifa hitting on Cloud, you have Aerith hitting on Cloud. And the original wasn't necessarily not that, because it was always, who do you want? Do you want Aerith? Do you want Aerith or you want Tifa? But now they're adding Jessie. Are they going to add other girls?
I think it was to help flesh her character out. I mean, you know, if I was a lonely man, this would definitely be one of the best dating simulators I've ever played. So
it just seems obvious, like over the top.
I don't know. As a fan of the original, I really enjoy. Like I said, I mean, the Cliff Notes description is on point. Like, now that I'm thinking of Final Fantasy VII, the original, I'm like, yeah, it seems like it just skims over. Like, you know, oh, you did a bombing mission. Oh, you blow up. Oh, you meet Aerith. Oh, you get out of Magar. Like, it's just all very, like, quick and done. Where this game, again, I'm meeting these characters and experiencing their lives and experiencing Midgar, really. Like, it's a fleshed out... It's a whole city that I can explore, basically.
What I thought was amazing was I was playing the original prior to it being released because I wanted to be able to compare the two.
Yeah.
And you meet Aerith, I don't know, 2 hours in? Maybe?
Just one little interaction, and then she runs away.
But I was actually 20 hours into the game before I fell through that roof and met her.
Yeah, I think I was right at the 10-hour mark or something.
And that gave me a true comparison of how much depth they've added.
Oh yeah, 100. I was like, man, 10 hours and I'm just fucking meeting Aerith? Like, damn, man.
No, I was shocked. The second I met her, I was like blown. I knew it was coming, but I was still shocked just because of how long it took.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's something else. It's, as a fan, man, I can't get enough of it. I don't know. I haven't beat it yet. I'll probably beat it tonight. I'm over the top excited about how this chapter is going to end. Will there be because, you know, again, and I go back to the Ghost. If I just knew that, okay, Sephiroth's going to show up, and that's going to be really cool, and then I'm going to escape Midgar, and the game's going to end, I'd still be excited, but honestly, a big prospect is shit, I want to know what's going to happen at the end of this game, because is something different going to happen? You know, that's what's... It's a little bait, but it really has me excited for what's going to happen. So, will anything happen? Who knows?
Has anyone seen any blowback from feminist gamers or anything? Because I just took a few notes. Tifa, we got the Jessie boob armor.
What? That's how she was dressed in the original. The boob armor.
Yeah, they're both dressed the same way they were in the original. But have you seen any blowback yet?
Is not dressed the same. She has smaller breasts. Okay, so
yeah, they tone them down.
I mean, yeah. If anything, look at other video games. They're grotesquely very on Front Street about things Dead
especially.
I mean, what are some other series?
Well, just the JRPG genre in general. Usually, the women are pretty sexualized. Yeah. Where there's not one time that I've been able to look up Tifa's skirt. So that's a positive.
I mean,
saying you tried.
Everything seems really toned down as far as Final Fantasy VII goes. So I'd be real surprised if there was any blowback for that.
But I mean, I have a friend that what was his complaint? He complained, I guess, about the cross-dressing part, saying they went a little too in depth with it, and I was like. But I mean, I was like, man, what a dumb complaint. That, that was
the golden saucer in this.
No, that will be later. So you're Don Cornell or whatever his name is, and the honeybee.
I didn't think it was going to be in this, but
I really love the cross-dressing part. I mean, that part, especially in this game, I don't think you're to it yet. I mean, I was smiling the whole fucking time. It's ridiculous.
It's ludicrous.
Dude, it's so well done. It is so like there's like a dance scene and shit, man. It's incredible. Like it's so good. But I guess if dancing offends you, then maybe this isn't the game for you. So
everything offends Anita Sarkeesian. So
what? I don't know what that means.
I'm happy that you don't know what it means.
Okay.
Trust me, don't.
I did have two friends that I consider them avid gamers. Like to me, they're probably on the same level that all of us are, and they had no idea that it was. I think as we discussed a week or two ago, like they didn't know that it was going to be a 3-part game. Like they were like, wait, this is.
Oh yeah, I wanted to blow back.
They were like, wow, this is bullshit that it's only like part 1. And I was like, you guys didn't know that? Like, I'm like, no, we had no idea.
Have you seen anything on a Reddit 4chan?
Nope, haven't looked at any of it. I've been staying off of all media. I don't want shit spoiled for me, man. I've been...
Okay, yeah. Spoilers, obviously.
Okay, I can't.
You don't want a game spoiled that you've played before.
But it's different. But as soon as those little fuckers showed up, I said, oh, I'm done with the internet. I can't be on the fucking internet.
I want to know if there is any blowback. I haven't.
I imagine so.
I'm sure there probably is some. I can't imagine that everyone is as plugged in to know that there was going to be multiple.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for fucking 2 years.
Yeah, they haven't. But as people that previously played Final Fantasy VII, we were checking in on all the updates. But I can imagine there's people that thought the game looked enticing, and then they found out, what, this isn't the entire game?
Yeah, the fact that they didn't slap like part 1 on that title, they just call it Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, I don't know, man. That's a little shady.
Are we ever going to see the return of complete games being sold?
Yeah, they're already out there.
I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about like mainstream, like where it's almost like, wouldn't that be like a point of interest for buyers, saying that all the DLC that's coming out for this game, you are going to get automatically for purchasing the game? I feel.
Oh, no! That
would be huge.
That is a thing for some games.
Well,
once you buy the game, the DLC is free.
Yeah, but your mainstream games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, you expect.
No. Those are
factory line games are made to milk your wallet.
Factory line games, I love that. That's a great term.
I mean, they're the yearly releases. Whatever game has a installment yearly. Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed. I can't think of Madden. These games are made to just. Not only are you paying the $60 price tag, because you have to buy it new, because a year from now, no one's going to be... You're going to have to get NBA 2K21,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there are still companies that do it, right? CD Projekt is the first one that comes to mind with The Witcher 3. All of their expansions were they free? I don't know that they were free, but even then, you're talking.
Free. I bought The Witcher 3 once, and I have 2 expansions,
like Blood and Wine and whatever. But I wonder if that was the Game of the Year edition. Regardless, even if they cost money,
I'm not about that.
You're talking about a 20 to 30 hour expansion with each expansion.
Yeah, and the problem is whenever you just start out playing that version, you go on this sidetrack. And you miss the whole fucking story. That's my big issue with The Witcher is...
what are you talking about?
I'm playing side quests
for
30 hours because I just got distracted from the main...
It's the best game ever. So, but...
no, it's amazing. I'm just saying, I don't know where the main story is anymore. I have so many side plots.
That's true, but all I'm saying is like the company CD Projekt, like they are CD Projekt Red. I don't know what they're called. Like you look at Cyberpunk Cyberpunk coming out and like The Witcher, like they're definitely a company that's still like, no, like we're gonna sell you a 100-hour game, and maybe you might pay $10 for this DLC, but this DLC isn't just like a fucking skin or like a 1-hour side quest. Like it's 30 hours, and it's a complete story that's worth buying. Like I think they do DLC, right? And they do sell you a completed game.
It's another game.
Yeah.
They add a game on top of their game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's their DLC.
It's worth every cent that you spend.
But that's why it takes 10 years for them to make a fucking game. So.
I mean, as far as like worth every single penny that I've spent, CBS All Access, fantastic for watching Picard.
Yeah, I want to hear about Picard.
What else is on there? I guess you gotta watch. No. Isn't Discovery's on there? Isn't it?
Like I said, Picard is the
Discovery banana.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten.
We're talking about real good Star Trek projects, not Discovery.
I mean,
Picard,
Picard is just amazing. Like it pays homage to so many like there's a lot of characters in Star Trek that you never really knew what their fate was, and Picard does a really good job of intertwining all those things. So you're like, oh, so that's what happened to so and so, and how does that affect the main storyline? It feels more like a giant movie. Like now in hindsight of watching it all, it feels like one big movie, as opposed to an actual Star Trek, Stardate 105. It's not like that at all. It's more of a movie, and the fact that CGI has like caught up to Star Trek makes it look fantastic, because it's no longer like these plastic looking modeled ships going through a black screen. It looks fantastic. And
okay, so it looks great, but how is the story? How's the plot? Because that's what matters in Star Trek, is your plot.
To be honest,
the one thing is that they took Patrick Stewart's age, and you can clearly see that we all can see that he's aging. He's getting up there, and they used it in the story.
Well, clearly, I mean, you can't have a 90-year-old man doing fucking.
No, they're gonna put makeup on and like try.
What is it, like First Contact or something? Like, here, we're gonna have you do some acrobatics. Like, okay.
These Star Wars fans, man, this is what I gotta deal with.
Yeah, right.
No.
I really didn't like it because Picard didn't have a lightsaber, so I was really disappointed.
I actually think that they.
So it's a shitty Star Trek show without a lightsaber.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think they purposefully made him look older, and there's a reason.
You think they aged him up?
Yes. Yeah. There's. I mean, if you do watch it, you watch it the whole way through. I do think that there's a reason why that they do that. But I'm not 100% sure because it's a little hard to tell. But he does look more frail in the beginning than he does at the end. But yeah, I mean, the story starts off a little slow, episode 1 and 2, but it really starts to take off, and it goes back to Next Gen, Voyager. It touches on all those storylines. And kind of puts them all together.
So who are your... I know they have cameos all over the place, but I know like your big ones. I know Riker has an episode. Data is in it. Data is in it, I guess, for like an overarching plot. Mm-hmm. And then 7 of 9 is in it. Is there anyone else that's like a major player that comes back?
I mean, they add a lot of new people as well, but those are the people. I mean, you get to meet William Riker's wife, which is Diana Troy. She comes back as well. But there's no LaForge or Worf, or anything like that. But it's not needed. Like, it's not needed at all, because it does have that Abrams flair to it, where it's like it doesn't feel like your old school. It's not there's always something happening in every scene. It's not just people talking. Like, let's say there's two people talking, there might be there might be some sort of futuristic thing happening in the background, which gets your attention, and they do a real good job of incorporating, not making it boring, even though it's just people talking. But yeah.
Well, but was the next gen, was it boring because of the talking?
I felt some of those scenes felt real slow.
Okay.
Because it was literally just Data talking to LaForge about how to be happy.
Yeah, and what the next gen had hour-long episodes, right? I think they're hour-long, 44 minutes, I believe.
I haven't seen next gen in a while, but
maybe I'm wrong. I hope to God I'm not. But this one's only 10 episodes, right?
Yes, it's only 10 episodes. But like I said, it feels like a movie that you're watching.
Okay.
Which, speaking of the news, I heard that they started pre-production on Picard the movie.
They're making a film for like theaters or for like CBS
theatrical release.
All acts.
That's something I've been interested in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But other than Picard, Castlevania has been fantastic. The story, it's one of those shows where each season just gets better and better, and you just want more and more and more of it. The animation.
You're talking about Star Trek Discovery, right?
No, I meant
I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, like the animation is different. Like I said, I could spot Western right away, that it was Western, but it still looks great. The characters, you can actually, like, it makes me want to play Castlevania, and I've never played any Castlevania game ever.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Like, I feel like that says like a lot about how good it is. But yeah, I can't wait for the next season. Probably gonna be.
How many seasons are out?
3. There's 3 seasons.
3.
So.
What? Sorry to go back to Star Trek real fast. Are we gonna talk spoilers? Can we talk spoilers on here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
as long as you say spoilers.
If you're watching Picard, watch out, because I'm about to ask Mike how this ends. Okay, so I've seen a clip where Picard is talking to Data in like Data heaven, or he's in Data's brain or something. Does Picard, does he die? What's his fate?
Picard does die.
I don't personally want to know that, but okay.
Like his body dies?
He does die at the end.
Okay.
However, the whole basis of the storyline is that there's synthetics, which would be like robots.
Yes.
Have secretly decided to go Terminator on the Federation and all the other alien organics, as they call it.
Okay.
And Data was the beginning of the high level synthetic.
Okay, yeah.
So he became like Model A, like the staple, and they based all these other. I mean, these new robots now, they sneeze, they eat, they get hungry. Like it's
like Blade Runner. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. And so basically, there's a Lord of the Rings like size battle at the very end over a planet which contains all of these robotic, humanoids, basically.
Okay.
Well, they're not all humans, but
kind of like the army. That if they don't stop the people on this planet, I guess they're gonna go try to kill all the synthetics.
Yeah.
Wait, no, organics.
Right. And so basically, Picard throws his life on the line, and literally Riker shows up with a fleet, with a freaking humongous armada. I've never seen so many ships in Star Trek. That's why I was like, man, this CGI is ridiculous. because it looks like something out of Lord of the Rings with spaceships.
Lord of the Rings with spaceships.
They pulled in the last Skywalker. That's what they did. They just did the end of the last Skywalker.
And so,
wait, yeah,
we talked about that last week. Stop talking.
Rise of the Skywalker. I'm not talking shit. Rise of the Skywalker ends with all the stupid ships showing up in the big hero moment. That's what Riker did.
And so,
I had to read about Daisy Ridley being sad today, so
we'll talk about that never. Okay.
Never. All right, well, so basically Picard puts his life on the line, and he ends up dying because
How does he die? Is he on an exploding spaceship? What? I just need to know, can he come back?
The whole Picard series is a love letter to the people that enjoyed Picard and the Next Gen. So it's implied very early on that he might have some sort of disease.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so he ends up succumbing to it at the end, but he saves, which was going to be a humongous calamity and massacre. His actions save these people, and in return, they give him a new body.
Okay, so because I was about to ask, how are you going to make a Picard movie if he's dead? But they're doing like a Ghost in the Shell. You can like upload your consciousness into a new.
Which is why I was like, I think they made him look older on purpose, frail on purpose, because he looks like younger. He looks more fit at the end of the movie. He looks very vibrant, and that's supposed to be, I guess, implied through the new body.
It's a synthetic body, I guess.
Correct. So basically he was like, so I'm dead, right? And they're like, yeah, but you still have all your memories and everything, and it's still him. So it's a
Ghost in the Shell. It's Ghost in the Shell. Okay.
Or Altered Carbon, however you want.
Yeah, Altered Carbon, whatever. That Netflix show. I hear it's good. Everything's good on Netflix, right?
Altered Carbon is.
I know. I heard season 2 wasn't. Look, Netflix nails season 1s, but apparently they just fuck up in season 2s. They just can't keep it going.
I enjoyed season 2 of Altered Carbon.
Doesn't it have the Falcon in it?
It does, and he's jacked as shit.
Well, he was pretty jacked in fucking Captain America.
I mean,
not compared to this.
If we're getting into Netflix produced things, they are so hit and miss. Like,
yes,
that's even the hits. That's why I say, like, what show has had a successful, like, a good season 2 or season 3? Maybe Ozark. Like Ozark.
First of all, Ozark is the only thing I can think of that has been good.
Well, House of Cards, Ozark, and what's the one with the kids that everyone likes? Stranger Things.
No, Stranger Things season 2 compared to 1 was shit.
Oh, well, see.
I don't care what anyone says. Stranger Things 2, season 2 was no.
Was season 3 good?
I would argue with you. Stranger Things season 1 was horrible, and season 2 was better.
I haven't seen any of this show, but man, season 1, there was talk and memes.
Season 1 was in the
zeitgeist, like everywhere,
Season 1 was good.
Let me say this. What I know about Stranger Things is there's the lights. She has Christmas lights, and they light up, and they say things, and there's the upside down, and I know all of that from season 1. I don't know shit about season 2 or season 3 other than Uma Thurman's daughter is in season 3, I guess.
That's because there's no reason to talk about season 2 or season 3.
See, but there's nothing nothing that I absorbed from those other seasons.
Oh man, well, I mean, so we don't get too much like hateful comments. I mean, I definitely want to say that season 2 and season 3 were very enjoyable for me. However, getting back to the whole Christmas lights thing, yes, she's an avid Christmas enthusiast.
I think she talks to her son. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched the show. I just know that shit was fucking everywhere. And I was like, oh, this is some Stranger Things shit.
No, Netflix does that with their movies as well. And
garbage. Their movies are fucking garbage.
Emily and I have joked that they have so many decent plotline movies, and then all the endings go.
Do they have a good movie? What's a good Netflix movie? Like, what is one that you can think of?
They all end shitty, so I can't suggest one. They start off great, and then they start to crest, and you're like, okay. And then hopefully, like COVID-19, they crash and they bomb. Right around the end.
Hopefully they peak, and I get unemployment for many months. Just kidding. I don't know. I mean, because what? Like, The Irishman came out, and that was... I haven't watched it, but people say... Halfway. I'm halfway into the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
It's so long, dude. I just couldn't finish it, man. Like,
I heard the CG's kind of bad at parts.
Is that what you tell the woman that you date, Mike? You were halfway into it. You just...
I mean, the CG was actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, they did a good job of younging up Robert De Niro.
I've heard very mixed things about it. I've heard
it
like
just looks
sometimes
weird when he's moving quickly.
Uncanny Valley, kind of.
I never saw that.
No, Uncanny Valley. It's just a term for when something looks real, but it's like a little off. So your brain, it's like unusual. You're like, ooh, that looks. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's.
It figures it out.
Yeah. It's when your brain, you would rather something look less human because your brain goes, that's not human, as opposed to something that looks almost human. Your brain finds that like unnatural and disturbing. You go, ugh.
What was that Will Smith movie?
I Am Robot?
No,
Gemini Man.
Yeah, Gemini Man. Is that why that movie bombed so hard?
Probably. It's probably because it looked like
I don't know
garbage.
if that's why.
I mean,
yeah, dude, the whole movie was in the fucking trailer. Whoa, you're gonna team up with your clone to take out the bad guy? Imagine
there's
that.
Two of you?
Yeah, and you guys are gonna fight, and then you're gonna join forces to beat the bad guy. Look, I've seen the movie. I bet they win. Actually, I bet, having not seen the movie, that old Will Smith dies, and the young one has to, like, that's the end of the movie. Live like a good man, and then he dies.
I would bet the opposite. I think.
You think the young one dies? Yeah, they could pull a Looper, I guess.
I mean, my guess would be Will.
This is your life, not mine.
Yeah.
Go and finish it.
But again, just to go back, I think Amazon has been producing some really great movies out of their studios, like nominee quality movies.
Shows as well. Goliath, if you haven't seen it, it's amazing.
Oh, show. The Boys is Amazon also.
The Boys
I don't know how we haven't covered The Boys.
I haven't watched it. I'm gonna go watch The Boys.
What the fuck? You haven't seen The Boys?
I'm gonna finish Final Fantasy and then go watch Boys, I guess.
I agree with Adam on this. Like,
yeah.
If I wasn't afraid of coronavirus, I'd be touching my head like that as well.
You can touch your head.
I've been inside for 2 days. I'm not worried about touching my face. Jason.
I know. Everyone tells me
your homework is to watch The Boys the next week.
I know. I know.
You can watch it in a night, and you will if you start it.
It's grungy.
It's only 8 episodes, right? 8 or 10. Do you know?
It's 8, I think.
8.
It's short.
Yeah, you can. It's shorter than a Final Fantasy session. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's grungy.
You can binge the fuck out of that.
It's grungy. It's like a grungy version of Heroes.
I know, and that's
that's a good way of putting it.
I would argue that I was initially turned off because in my head I was like, oh, this is just some anti-hero bullshit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's that classic. I know what we'll do. We'll make the superheroes bad.
We'll make them assholes.
Yeah, but literally everything I've heard is that, like, yes, that is how the show goes, but the characters are so well done that it doesn't matter. Yeah, it might be a trope, but it's it's
a well done trope.
Yeah, it's Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Yeah, these are trope. These are the heroes' journeys, but it doesn't matter because it's really fucking good. So yeah, I know.
It's even less dark than the comic.
But graphic novels are crazy these days. Western graphic novels, you have like people fucking getting their heads cut off and like it's just the shit that they do in those are just extreme, honestly. I almost feel like it's like they go for shock factor.
Yes.
It is shock factor because the graphic novel version has a basically gangbang rape scene and a man who jerks off and shoots his sperm across the city because essentially he's Superman.
Oh, the Superman character, yeah.
Thank God.
That does not happen in the show.
Yeah, what are your visual aids?
Those are not visual aids.
Really dark. Which, I mean, I want to read the graphic novels, but I don't really want to read that stuff.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like, I don't know.
It's the same reason why I never got into, I think, like the Walking Dead visual novels. I mean, don't get me wrong, I dropped the show after like season 2, but people are like, "Oh, the novels are so good, the visual novels." But I'm like, I don't want to fucking see some guy getting his eyeball ripped out every fucking comic I pick up.
Really? So The Walking Dead was too too visual?
No. I just thought the show fucking. Once they killed
I think Jason was saying
who's the guy? Who's Rick's counterpart?
Can't protect her, Rick.
Yeah. I gotta rub my head. Was he? And I can't do his accent. Fuck. Damn. Let me tell you something, Rick. And he rubs his bald head when he's angry. What is it? What is his name? Someone has to know.
The guy that played the Punisher?
Shane. What's Shane? Because Shane made it interesting because, he's the anti-hero. He's not wrong. He's just going about it wrong. And so once you have that conflict gone, sure, like, it took him, 7 seasons to introduce, oh, look, here's the governor. Was that his name? Who's the guy with the bat?
Now, the governor's got the eye patch.
Okay, so who's the guy with the bat? We all know him. He's Bruce Wayne's. He's Bruce Wayne in one of these Batmans. Negan. Yeah. The comedian.
Second introduced Negan. What I love is that.
Do you still watch this show? Does anyone still watch this show? That is my biggest question right now.
No, me and Emily considered it over once Rick left. We said this is our final season. I don't care where they go from here.
I stopped watching after episode 9. So.
Jason was so woke. He was so woke.
I was already. Look, season 1 ended so shittily. I remember being like, "Wow, nothing happened." Like, that was neat. And then I watched a bit of season 2, and I was like, this is just gonna be the same shit over and over again. Like,
I mean, season 1 was decent. Season 2 was rough, and then they started to get their feet.
Yeah. By the end of season 2 with Shane, and I've gone back and watched that. That's still pretty entertaining television. When Rick and Shane are on the screen, it's good. But short of that, the show suffers from the whole introduce new characters, kill them, new villain. Okay, he kills some people, he dies, continue on, new villain, new characters, rinse, repeat, for infinity.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean a good job, Mike, but I feel that whenever Negan was introduced and Rick was still there, that was a peak.
That was definitely I was going on YouTube watching those clips because the guy that played Negan, he's such a good actor that he really,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan said whenever a job was offered to him, is it Negan? Like he asked because he knew the comics.
He's so charismatic in that role. Like he's, when he's on the screen, it's almost like, I hate to say the Joker or something, but it is like he's mesmerizing. You're like, man, what's this guy gonna do? Everything he says is so interesting.
He is the Lalo of
the Lalo. I don't know that I agree with, but he's like Gustavo. It's like when Gustavo says some shit, you're like, oh fuck, what's Gus gonna say, man?
No, I think that's a better comparison. It's Gus.
Yeah, Gus is here. Is he about to play it real cool, or is he gotta do some fucking psycho shit? See,
he's sitting all calm, just having a conversation.
Yeah, are we gonna have a conversation? Or you gotta put a bag over my head and make my friend suffocate.
Where's this going?
But I would argue that for me, you talked about the thing between Rick and you can't help a Rick or you can't protect her. Yeah. Like, I feel like the story didn't start until they resolved that.
You got a weak boy, Rick.
Yeah, like
as they say, you got a confused wife and you got a weak son or something.
Yeah, man. Like I like, and for me, I stopped watching when it turned into, hey, this is no longer humans versus zombies. This is
it's human versus every season now. It's human versus humans. So zombies are a backdrop.
Well, do you not get it?
They're the Walking Dead. The humans are the Walking Dead. I don't give a fuck, man. You can't hold me up for 10 seasons with that shit.
Yeah, I'm with Jason on that. I'm not gonna watch it. I mean, I don't know. I stopped when.
But that's why they're That's why it's called the Walking Dead.
I get it, but so see, season 1 was still interesting because they went to like the old CDC place and they tried to like figure out if there was going to be a cure. It's like this progression that. Again, I guess it's cliche, but like something's happening when maybe there's a cure. You know, that's The Last of Us. That's most zombie media. It's like who's surviving and who's trying to figure shit out. And once that's gone, like what the fuck am I watching for? Like just to see these characters, I might as well be watching Grey's Anatomy. But Grey's Anatomy doesn't have zombies, but it's Grey's Anatomy. That's what it is.
It's Grey's Anatomy with zombies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fucking... I don't know. I think The Walking Dead's a big fucking trash fire.
I mean, if you're gonna compare Gustavo,
how did we get on this?
I don't think you can call it trash because Gustavo.
No, but Negan is good. Negan is good. The actor is good. I'll say that. Like I said, the only clips that I've watched of fucking The Walking Dead are Negan clips. I've gone when it was airing. I would go on YouTube and just watch scenes that he was in from last week's episode and be like, let's see what Negan was doing.
So did you have any inclinations of, wow, these people look rough compared to season 1? Because if you look at Rick
Rick definitely looked way, and you could tell in his personality, like Rick was like deranged. Like he's he's like lost his fucking mind. Yeah. Like but you know, okay, that's cool. But I'm not gonna watch 100 fucking episodes to get there. Like,
I mean, how many times can I sit there and hear him go Coral? Like,
Coral.
You know, oh my god.
Yeah, the memes. I will say it spawned a lot of memes. So,
which, let's face it, his son, spoiler alert, gets shot through the eye.
But he lives, right?
Out the back of the head. Bullshit. That little kid should have been dead. I mean, no one gets shot through the eye and it's like, oh man, this is a bad day for me.
Does he die?
It's a comic book show, Mike. It's a comic book show.
Still, that'd be like getting your head cut off and be like, oh, just put this thing back on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my head was only cut off 90% of the way. They just had to tilt me back up. Yeah, it's the same thing. Your eyeball is gonna blow out your brains. I mean, your brains are blowing out the back of your head, not your fucking eyeball. Like, so that's cool. You can't see out of one eye. You also don't have 40% of your brain mass.
The angle's like this or some shit.
Is he impaired in any way other than it? Like, is he a vegetable?
He just wears an eye patch.
If they made him a vegetable, I could almost be like, hey, look, they're playing it really realistic. Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, he was just like, it wasn't a thing. It was just like, hey, let's keep going. It's just a flesh.
Lost an eye.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Oh, man.
And then he gets bit by a zombie. He dies. Spoiler.
Oh, good. I was about to say, have they killed him yet?
Did he? I didn't know he died. Oh.
Yeah, they actually deviated from the comics.
Good for them.
Maybe
because the actor was getting too old.
Him and Negan were supposed to have a very interesting relationship in which Negan was a prisoner and Carl kept going down to visit him and he became sort of a father figure
where Rick couldn't,
and then it became this like pull and push of Rick trying to parent and then Negan trying to parent, but they just killed Carl off, so that never happened. So whatever,
I gotta start
doesn't matter.
I gotta start watching again then.
Nah, dude.
No, that would have been good, but they killed him, so who cares?
I just felt his character slowed down the show so bad. Like, there's certain characters that just slow down the show.
Oh,
it was so bad they just time jumped.
I did see
a lot of
that.
the actors left the show.
Yeah, when Rick when Rick leaves the show, I think that's when they time skip, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's his daughter. His
infant daughter becomes like
10 or something. Yeah,
an 8 to 10-year-old. It becomes like Jaylee's age, and I'm like,
I did watch that. I watched because Rick was leaving, and I YouTubed that and saw him get taken off in a helicopter. Which again, that's interesting. Someone with helicopters picked him up. That's really interesting to me. Oh, that's all you're gonna do? Like, well, I'm not watching your show anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, that's whenever we were like, okay, moving on.
Do you think we're seeing the end of the zombie trend?
Yes.
So many years, it was zombies, and now it's COVID-19, and zombies aren't so cool anymore.
I'm extremely interested to see if COVID-19 ends it or sparks it again.
Okay.
I would gamble that it's going to end it.
I think it's already ended. It ended before COVID-19. I mean, what in the last 3 years, name a piece of zombie media that's come out?
World War Z.
It's 3 years. 3 years.
That was like 10 years ago.
6 or 7.
Okay, but World War Z, the game. Like I'm saying, there's still
the game.
zombie media, zombie entertainment.
Sure, but there was that moment when you had like 3 to 6 movies coming out a year,
right? Perhaps
a TV show or 2. Where now that's kind of all dried up. Video games have always been a good media for zombies. That's since way before the zombie trend. So.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but isn't Onward basically kind of like a zombie-esque-ness to it?
No, it's D&D.
No, it's D&D.
Yeah, it's D&D.
Oh, okay. Because that makes
sense. It is amazing. If you haven't seen Onward, I highly recommend it. You should go see Onward.
I heard you're going to need
awesome.
Some tissue boxes for that movie.
No, that's all Pixar.
Towards the end, you may need a few tissues. But it's awesome.
Mike, can I watch Picard without watching the next gen?
Yeah. I mean, you might not. I mean, the thing is they pull from all the different Star Treks, and they kind of like give you this finality to them. So like, there's gonna be characters that you don't quite truly appreciate because you never saw maybe all of Star Trek Voyager or all of Deep Space Nine. But if you did watch those, if you were like a loyal Star Trek fan, they do tons of fan service for those characters that were just lost into the ether.
Yeah. I feel like I know enough. I know who Riker is. I know who Data is. I know who 7 of 9 is. I know enough about the media that, I'm not going to get what you get out of it, but I feel like I could, it's a pretty standalone story, I feel like. So I was thinking about watching it. I don't know. We'll see. I got to watch The Boys, I guess. Then I have to watch Picard. So.
Have y'all seen anything about the PS5 and the Xbox?
I saw that PS5 had a controller that basically looks like an Xbox controller, but the joystick layout's still the same. You have your 2 bottom analog sticks.
I thought that personally it looked...
I think it looks good.
Exactly the same.
It doesn't look... But it's not exactly the same. The analog sticks and the D-pads are in different places. It's a different controller. I mean, it's not the same.
I think it looks clunky. I think it looks... Ugh.
Do you have an Xbox, Mike?
I had a 360.
Okay. Well, I will say that I think that the what are they on now? Xbox? Are they on X?
Xbox. It's some
X.
Look, the Xbox One's controllers are the best controllers. I mean, nothing beats them. They are the most comfortable controllers. Hands down.
They're odd for me. I mean, like for me, the PlayStation 4 controller is perfect.
It's good. I use it. I use it a lot, but personally, I think the 360, man, or the Xbox One, it's just. I mean, as soon as I felt it in my hand, I was like, man, like this is it. They nailed the design, I think. So I really don't mind the PS5's design. No, I don't think they're stealing. I don't think they're copying. They're just making their controller better. I mean,
I didn't see a difference until a friend pointed it out.
It's better.
This image, I think, shows it perfectly. The ergonomics.
I mean, what's wrong?
This is the first PlayStation controller that fits in your hand like an Xbox controller.
But there's nothing wrong. I wouldn't say that's like a bad design choice. Look, all phones.
That's a great design choice.
Copied iPod, or iPhones, because it's the best design for a phone. And so are all phones copies of iPhones, and is that a bad thing? No.
My biggest issue with those controllers were the triggers. And then the space that seemed to feel like in between, like you said, how wide it is. It just feels like from my hands, it just feels like there's an infinity amount of space, like for my thumbs to cover with, as far as like how wide and thick like the controllers are compared to PlayStation. PlayStation super thin, and that's the main difference, is the triggers are equal. With the Xbox, at least with Xbox 360 controllers, you had a trigger like a gun, and then these tiny little things up top.
The bumpers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And those just felt awkward and clunky to me compared to the PlayStation ones.
Okay. See, I skipped the PS3 and I just had the 360. Oh, okay. And so when I got into PS4, because I never had an Xbox One, when I got into PS4, that felt, it didn't really feel that strange. It felt like coming home from, PS1 and PS2, having skipped 3. But, I don't know, like I said, when I held an Xbox One in my hand the first time, I was like, damn, this is a good controller. It feels right. I don't know. And it might just be that, like I say, really the only difference is that analog placement. PlayStation has them both down, and that works fine for some games. Yeah, that's an overpriced controller. Let's see it. I know, that's like the $200 fucking pro gamer Razer controller. Mad Catz. Yeah, the Mad Catz Elite. Yeah, I've seen it.
That's the Xbox Elite. Yeah. Not some Mad Catz garbage.
I don't know that there's even a story there. I think it's crazy that people are like, oh, is it copying Xbox too much? Is it comfortable? That's all that fucking matters.
I thought it looked just like the old ones until someone pointed out that the design was shaped.
No, as Mike said,
the same as Xbox.
They've always been smaller, slimmer controllers.
So this is the first one. That's what the picture was meant to show. It's going to be more ergonomic, much like an Xbox controller.
Yeah, I don't think PlayStation has got away from the DualShock controller layout and since PS2, and they're still not. It's still the same controller layout. They just made it a little bigger. I don't know.
I didn't mean to cut you off. The coolest thing about that, though, is they're saying there's going to be a tension grip on the triggers. So, and they compared it to if you were drawing a bow and arrow, that you feel the tension.
That's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
And I was like, that is a very neat addition to a controller that they probably need.
Especially with, Sony's so big on cinematic experiences. That could be a big help in a lot of those type of games.
So
you want to play Tomb Raider?
Yeah. So what you're telling me is little kids with virgin-like dexterity are going to be destroying us because there's sensitivity settings on the triggers. Awesome.
Little kids are already destroying us because they have more free time, especially little kids that are in quarantine. So, game over.
Well, I was trying to kind of pivot there, in the sense of sports are gone now, which we don't even know when they're going to come back. One game that is starting to pick up some speed in the mainstream. I saw this in my local news. Rocket League.
Really?
Do you think that it could ever take the spot for sports?
Real sports?
with what we don't have sports right now, and online gaming is trying to fill that void.
I feel like that's more of an esports question in general. Can esports
break to such a mainstream level that I guess it's aired regularly on television? Because right now, most of whether you're talking about Evo, Rocket League, Dota League, CSGO, all of these big championships, ESL and stuff, they are on ESPN. I mean, the championships mostly get aired, like the big yearly championships. I see them, at work.
But it's cable, and no one who gives a fuck about the sports watches them on cable.
So last week we talked about the face mask and how you feel weird until everyone's doing it. That is the barrier that esports has. Because when I go to work and the Rocket League finals are on, which they were last year, they were on ESPN or something, and it was on. And everyone at your bar is literally like, what the fuck is this? Change the channel. Like,
why are video games on TV?
That is the phrase. Why the fuck is ESPN showing video games? Turn it to just something else. And they just want to watch they'll watch NASCAR, golf, tennis. Like, they don't give a fuck. They just want to watch like a sport because it's still not in like the zeitgeist that like an esport could be considered a sport activity, and it mostly has to do with masculinity, I assume,
Yeah, and it's working, but it's working its way into a zeitgeist, and it is generational.
It's both. Yeah,
I remember, I was at my parents' house, and they were watching one of those garbage cable shows.
Dancing with the Stars.
No. One of the crime shows.
The Masked Singer.
But someone got murdered, and they walk in, and they got murdered at an esports event, and it was literally MLG branding. It was MLG logos, banners, and everything.
Cable TV always behind.
And I was blown away, going.
You were going, they're already bankrupt. Why is this on TV? This is supposed to be ESL.
They had not sold out to Activision and been completely cashed out and fucked over at that point.
This isn't the episode with there was a Law and Order episode about like Gamergate with it was Luke Paul, I think, was in it. He was the bad guy.
It's possible.
He was the guy with the gun. And he's
I didn't watch the whole thing. I didn't watch anything the parents watch all the way through.
I watched it. I watched it on YouTube. It was great. At the end, he has the gun at the cop, and he's like, this isn't just like this isn't like a video game. And he's like, oh, it's exactly like a video game. That's just like, this is ridiculous. And then they say like lines, like some chick gets beat up by mean man gamers, and she's in the bathroom, and her friend's like, what happened? And she's like, I guess this is game over. Like, I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, but like I said, cable television, let's just never talk about that. But yeah, I think there's a huge problem with esports breaking that barrier. Yes, I agree with Mike. It's almost completely generational, but it does have the problem of like, it's a different beast. Again, I mentioned NASCAR and golf and all these other lesser sports. They're still a human, and it takes, just like an esport, just like to be good at Rocket League, it's going to take 1,000 hours of muscle memory to be a pro. Just like it would in golf. It's, I'm standing there and I'm hitting a ball up of a tee. It's all muscle memory. It's not so much dexterity, but people just, especially an older generation, they just don't see it. And it's not the stardom, like, even like a pro golfer or a pro NASCAR guy, like he lights it up. Like, he's a millionaire. He's set for, he won a golf tournament. He's set for life. Where like in esports, unless you're winning like league,
that's like league players, they do get set for life.
If you win the big one.
There is one issue with that, is the fact that Indy held an event that was 100% virtual over the weekend.
What is Indy? What is that?
IndyCar racing.
Oh, okay.
they championed a winner of a race, and all he did was race in a digital version of his car. All the racers got into their own cars. Now, is that the beginning of, because again, you're taking the human element out of it, but you're putting it back in through this virtual racing thing that everyone's connected in.
How did that work? I need more information.
It's called iRacing.
Young Jamie's
I guess. Yeah. It's a racing simulator. I guess that's what they did. It's like the NBA players playing 2K, right? It's the same thing.
I know they had to actually sit in and get strapped in and race, but
they're racing in a simulator,
yes,
correct? Okay, that is.
So you're driving a fake car. That's much more
exactly
real.
That would be like
NBA players playing a video game.
Yeah, but if the NBA players walked into a Star Trek holodeck. Yeah. And played basketball, like that would be a 1-to-1 comparison, and you could almost get away with that. You could air that product. So you could, IndyCar, if that's really what they're doing, that's pretty neat. And I don't think IndyCar fans are gonna like that, but someone like me, I think that's really
honestly, I think that would draw in more fans because I would be intrigued.
To watch. It would get a new audience, but it would definitely. Your audience is literally like Italy. It's like 60 plus. Like it's an aging audience.
To be fair, that's a little savage because it's what's left of Italy.
Oh, they got more than 15,000 old people there. However many. What are they up to?
But I feel like Overwatch.
It's a lot of dead people. I don't know.
I feel like Overwatch and Rocket League are pushing that esports boundary. Those are the ones I hear the most about.
An intelligent company right now would be taking advantage 1,000%, pumping your game. An intelligent company, because there are no sports. These are the sports that you can watch right now. You can watch esports, and so you can grab a giant new market.
The problem is even esports. What we're used to, what we tend to do, is have giant convention-sized events.
How's that any different from an NFL game?
Yeah, but we can't do that anymore. So even esports is cut off at the knees
because you can run the show, but you can't have the spectacle that draws the people.
The spectacle is what makes it significant and what makes it seem legitimate.
The NFL, the soccer arena for your games, so it's still just it's guys at home playing a game. Wow, this is the championship for all the money. But what an outsider that doesn't care about the game's gonna see is 10 people playing on a computer at home. Yeah, they're playing for $1 million, but it's just people playing computer games. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But
you don't have the spectacle that's necessary.
What's the difference between putting the human element into Rocket League as opposed to the iRacing that we were talking about? It's literally a guy, a human, driving a vehicle virtually in a sporting competition.
It's because one already has legitimacy.
Okay, but
NASCAR has been granted
NASCAR and
the
Indy
sporting label
and F1, all of these.
Yeah, F1, all of them.
And technically,
racing is a sport. You can do it electronically. Mm-hmm. Gaming is not a sport. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you can't do it electronically because it hasn't been earned yet.
Exactly.
Time then before
it is a matter of time.
Because it seems like, look when
it's an age thing.
When we were kids, did you ever think you'd see StarCraft on ESPN?
Well, so that was my argument that I was about to say is the matter of time thing. Adam's 100% right, and you're 100% right too, because StarCraft was the one I'm going to use. If you go to Korea right now, there are still there's two. I think they have two 24-hour StarCraft channels. That StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, old championships, new championships, that's enough people in their society care about watching this game that it's on syndicated television to just put on multiple channels, two of them.
It's ESPN.
Yeah, it's ESPN for StarCraft, and possibly these days other esports. But so you've already seen a society accept, just like with the face mask. If 50% of people really like StarCraft, hey, I can get into this because that's what people are talking about at bars and at events. And I want to be cool and have conversations, so I need to be a part of this. The problem with America is that, even though nerd culture has exploded in the last 10 years, I think the stigma is to be a pro, you still have to dedicate 12 hours of your day to sitting in front of the screen and grinding. Where, like, a professional athlete, when they're doing that, people are like, well, see, he's working so hard because he's in the gym, he's running, he's living the life. Well, so are esports players, and people don't think about the mental and physical aspects, and this conversation's been had 1,000 times. It's just a different skill set, and it's a skill set that I don't think Americans appreciate. Europeans do to some extent, but not Americans, because we are big athlete, number one people, and sitting around playing a game all day to be the best, I don't think is seen as a good hobby.
What I don't understand is chess is an Olympic sport.
Yeah, but who in America watches chess? Oh, I see where you're going. Never mind.
Whether or not we watch it or not, it's not a physical sport, but we determine chess as a Olympic sport.
Because of its mental dexterity.
Gaming is exactly the same thing. It is chess. Period. It's the same thing. It's just digital.
Well, maybe when video games are 2,000 years old, we can.
Well, here's the funny thing: is
2,000 years from now,
out of all of us here, I'm the one that probably plays the most chess regularly. And I know that.
And you play it digitally, Mike. You play it digitally.
I know the professionals, the way they play chess is they see every single piece and they see the patterns. Like it would be like seeing
pattern recognition. Yeah,
exactly.
That's pro gaming,
and that's exactly what gaming is. It's recognizing patterns and it's making the correct moves to those patterns. So, to Adam's point, there's a lot of overlay.
But to play devil's advocate on that, okay, but chess is a game that isn't going away. It's been around for 2,000 years. What's the new Chinese game that's big on Twitch right now? Valorant? Okay. Valorant. Okay, so Valorant has 2 million viewers right now on Twitch. Yeah. Wow. But my argument is, now let's turn the clock forward 10 years. Will that game be around in 5 years still? Will it still have a huge 2 million following?
Around in 1 year.
We don't know. Maybe it's the next CSGO. Maybe in 20 years, people are still playing this game to a high level. But that's the difference with chess and esports, is chess will be there tomorrow. Chess will be there in 10 years, in 100 years. It's been established. Where esports, the problem is new video games come out. And people like to jump and play the newest shit. It was StarCraft, it was original Counter-Strike, it was Halo, it was Call of Duty. Everything has its time to shine and then it falls down. So how do you build a fan base in an ever-changing esports market?
I would argue it's more exciting because there's always something new.
It's more exciting to the participants.
The best players will jump from game to game. And the audience is never going to get bored because you're always watching something different. And the best are always the best. But the best shooter players go from shooter to shooter to shooter.
I would disagree.
Always successful.
That the participant, you as the player, it's way more interesting because you can jump in at the ground floor every time a new game comes out. We're all even. But for a viewer, if you were watching the NFL and next year it became the XFL, it was the same players, but it's a new
We're
game.
We're going to pivot to that in a minute.
With new rules. Okay, I can follow this. This is basically the same. But then the next year it's soccer. But they're all playing soccer, and so as a viewer, you're constantly, especially if you don't play these sports, these esports, you're constantly trying to catch up. Like, wait, so what's different? Like, what is?
But everyone does play these sports because the viewers change with the players.
But we need a casual audience that
doesn't
play games. Your parents don't play games, and even someone like me, I know what League and Dota is, but if I watch it professionally, I still don't know really what's going on, other than they're attacking the towers. It's a push-pull. There are hero battles, and people have abilities.
Yeah, as someone, I enjoy esports. I'm kind of bored by Dota and League.
Well, what? I mean, those are the biggest esports?
You make a very valid point. If you don't play the game, do you care?
But that's more of a consistency issue. Like, look at the sports that are successful. They're established. The rules don't change much. Game to game, that's the complete opposite. I mean, I'm not a fan of Halo, but I know there's a big variance between Halo 1, 2, 3, and so on. Each one's different. Now, imagine if the NFL did something like that. Like today, the kickers are going to be wide receivers, and you know what I mean. Like there's established consistency, and that's why our parents and their parents watch that stuff because it's.
That's why old people watch baseball because it's the same shit they've been watching for 60 years.
Our parents, I mean, I highly doubt we'll ever hear our parents say, "Hey, Mike, Adam, Jason, did you guys watch that? That Overwatch match?" Like, our parents are never going to say that because it's something that changes too much, too often. And I think that's probably, like you said, the biggest issue with online. And I think that's why the XFL is so... I mean, this is the second time it's died.
Well, and what was the league? What was the league last year before the XFL? There was even another league that they tried.
It was the
Extreme Football. Oh wait, no.
No, it was American. The American Football League, the AFL.
AAFL, something like that.
Yeah, because the AFL is Australian, but I want to say it was something like the American Football Association, something like AFA, something like that. And that only, again, same thing that happened with unfortunately the XFL died because of a virus. But
in case people haven't heard, we need to cover it that the XFL announced today that they have fired all staff and ceased operations.
Yeah, they have no intention to return.
They didn't technically say that, but it's implied.
Yeah.
I think would have been far more interesting is if they had partnered with the CFL. And then we could have had like a CFL versus XFL. Because the rules that's why Canadian football's not big in America. Most people don't even, I mean, except for the football players that fail out of the NFL and then end up in the CFL. That's the only reason why people know what the CFL is.
Yeah. Well, it does come on ESPN too, and me as a casual viewer of football, I watch the CFL when it's on. I do watch it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I watch the American football one, and I watch the XFL. But you see both leagues, they just fell apart. They didn't even finish. You're going up against...
There were mitigating circumstances this year.
It's David and Goliath, man. You're going up against the NFL, man.
They own a day of the week.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. They beat Church. I mean, they beat Church.
True. There's more than once I can remember being young and in church.
Got to wrap it up.
And the pastor basically making a joke about how I'm going to wrap things up.
Yeah, got to go. It's a big game. Cowboys are playing the Eagles, man. We got to go.
It's a big game coming up. It's always, I mean, maybe it's a Texan thing. I don't know, but
well, fuck yeah, it is.
Fuck the Eagles, by the way.
Whoa. I mean,
unsubscribe.
I mean, I gotta say, there were times in church where I'm pretty sure someone I heard was praying for Donovan McNabb to do well in the football game. So
just once, just give the man a Super Bowl.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, so yeah, definitely. Like even religion takes a back burner to the NFL.
Yeah, it's crazy because you can have like 4 or 5 football leagues, survive in Europe. I say football, I mean soccer, I guess. Like, they have multiple leagues, and they work, and people watch them. And I don't know if it's the NFL, behind closed doors, always keeping these people out, or, I mean, okay, look, I work at a place where...
They probably kill...
I work at a place that loves football. And baseball, for that matter. They actually love baseball more. But that big, I mean, everyone in there. It's Sunday. That's all you're going to talk about during football season is fantasy football and football. Mm-hmm. And these guys don't, especially the older people, the younger people our age, watch the XFL and give these new leagues a shot. The older people, they joke about it, and it's funny because they're the same people that half of them talk shit on the NFL now because it's too political. Oh, the NFL's too political. So then you have a new league, but they won't even give it a chance because it's not the NFL. And I'm like, I don't know what you want. You can't please these people,
Just say, okay, boomer, move on.
Yeah, exactly. It's the esports argument. Like, they just don't like change, so they don't want to watch a new league. But I mean, in my dream scenario is something that Mike said, that you could have a Canadian football league big enough to where after the Super Bowl, you have your two champions of whether it be the XFL or the Canadian Football League.
Fucking amazing.
I mean, that's like some national, not only is it your level, it's like your national team's going against their national team. Or even the XFL fans are going against the NFL fans in a real competitive Super Bowl. Like, that's like some dream shit. And I guess the NFL wouldn't want that to happen because it would hurt their bottom line. But as a viewer,
the NFL thinks that they are the best of the best, so it doesn't matter.
They kind of are. I mean,
we would look so bad as a problem because the Canadian teams would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, are you okay?" They would be so nice.
Dude, we would wipe the floor with them. It wouldn't even be a contest.
No, but it would be the football version of the World Cup.
Exactly, which would
actually have, like, the Super Bowl would be big, and then this would be bigger.
Exactly, and
even though people that won the Super Bowl would probably always win, but
maybe one day they won it, and I would love
the one time they didn't, it would be this massive.
Yeah, I would love to see a league.
And it would blow up both leagues,
big enough to have that kind of parity, but.
Isn't that why the NFL's trying so hard to break into Europe's market?
Oh, 100%.
But why didn't they just start with Canada?
I have no idea.
Everything's set up there. They already.
Why don't you just? Yeah, you have enough money that you could. I mean, realistically, they could probably buy out the CFL,
right?
And just. Maybe they don't have. They buy it out and they say, "Hey, you still run your shit, but we need you to change your rules to be like American football."
Yeah, like you're our team, you're our team, you're our team.
And then guess what? Those Canadian teams, they're not part of the NFL, but maybe they get involved in the American draft. They get involved in the NFL draft process. Both leagues draft at the same time, so you have the same prospects, but they do not play cross division, and then eventually
the winners of each play.
Yeah, you build up the CFL for 5 or 10 years, and again, if we're talking about revenue, that's a smart move because, as Mike just said, it's established. The Canadians, it's a whole new market for you that's already there. I don't know why that wouldn't be your first avenue, why they want to do Europe, but
I mean, it is untapped. I mean, football's not established there whatsoever. But the thing is, it's like, who do they really have to root for? Like, they have these random teams that, like, twice a year show up in...
Yeah, like the Jaguars. I think, the Jaguars are the biggest team over there, I think?
Oh, you're talking about whenever we go overseas?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we play in Europe, yeah.
Yeah, I
think they get the Jags every year to do it. And so I think they're a big... They usually win over there. Like... So
it would be sad if they didn't.
Yeah.
If they lose, it's a problem.
Well, people give them the home field advantage, but what's a home field advantage when you're playing in an arena once a fucking year?
I mean, ask the LA Chargers what a home field advantage is.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God,
Mike, you're just a salty former Charger fan.
No. He's because they had to play in. They don't even have their own arena, and I think the fans were louder for the opposing teams. Like, they didn't have...
They were having an issue. I mean, I didn't follow it too closely, but I know it was an ongoing issue. Was that more people for the opposing team were showing up regularly for each game? So every game felt like an away game for Philip Rivers and the crew. Which, thank God, he's on another team.
Thank God he's gone to Indy. I want to see Indy win it with Rivers.
Hey, you're talking to the biggest Colts fan on the on the East Coast right now.
That's just because he's a Philip Rivers fan. That's the only reason.
But I mean, yeah, like, you know, it's crazy how these big NFL companies just try to force their way into these markets that don't want them. No one. That's the reason why nobody was showing up for the LA Chargers, because no one wanted the LA Chargers.
Yeah, and they just got the Rams like 3 or 4 years ago, right? Like, how you couldn't support an NFL team like 20 years ago. Now okay, so you have the Rams and you have success. So why the fuck are you moving? Like, why are there two teams coming in? I mean, but they're gone now, right? Aren't there one of them? No, Oakland's gone. Oakland went to Vegas.
The Raiders left.
Yeah, they just completed some stupid. I think Disney actually funded part of the money for the new stadium for the Rams
in Vegas. That, to me, that's so ridiculous. Like, the Oakland Raiders, they're not the oldest franchise, but you just have like such a. I mean, the Raiders aren't known for being good, but everyone knows the Raiders' fucking fan base. Like, they are one of the most popular fan bases, one of the most rabid. And you're gonna take that, like, just fuck it, move them to Vegas.
No, it would be like Green Bay or Dallas moving.
Not to such a degree. But I mean, you're talking about like it would be like the Patriots moving. Honestly, I would say it would be like a Patriots. You know, a team that
the Patriots did move. They just moved to Tampa Bay.
Like, people know who the Patriots are, but people know who the Patriots are. But if the Patriots moved out of New England, that region would be mad, but people would still like recognize them as the Patriots. That's how it's going to be with the Raiders. I'll still see like the Las Vegas Raiders. Fuck that. No, dude, they're trash. I hope they fucking lose every game.
It would be like if they became the Connecticut Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, they had a dynasty, but fuck, you know, I don't know.
Good for you, Darth Hoodie.
Anyway, XFL. What did it survive without the virus? That's, you know.
No.
I think.
No.
I think it would have, but honestly, if they died simply because their opening season got cut off, then financially it wasn't prepared enough.
You're gonna take a loss. That was always the big problem. Is that first season?
You're always gonna take a loss.
Vince McMahon is gonna pump fucking $500 million to, and you saw what the stands were like. Yeah, there's people there, but it's not.
But it's mostly empty. It's mostly empty.
I know they spent money on those TV contracts because they had games coming on fucking ABC, Fox Sports, and ESPN. And I remember seeing that, being like, "Wait, you have an ABC slot? Like how much money did you spend on this shit, dude?"
They had a game they had 2 games 3 days in a row
on ESPN and ABC, like huge networks. You know, he spent out the ass. Now, obviously, they knew they weren't going to make a profit the first year, but you're going to
lose money.
You cannot plan for a pandemic, and you say maybe they weren't financially secure, but to go back to COVID, how many businesses, big businesses, have weathered a 1-month closing? I mean, $1 billion company.
That's fucking sure.
Not airlines, not movie theaters, and again, these people make X billion a year. How don't they have a rainy day fund?
Yeah, fucking speaking of movie theaters, AMC is hiring bankruptcy lawyers. They're the biggest movie theater probably in the country.
And they're on the planet.
Bankruptcy lawyer. On the planet?
Globally, they are the largest theater chain. So, You have AMC. You want to talk about the NFL? How long have fucking movie theaters been around? So you have a fucking, AMC's a brand in theaters for forever. They can't survive 1 month without funding. So how did the XFL have a fucking chance?
So what I mean? So what we need Amazon to buy up everything.
No, Blade Runner. We're becoming Blade Runner. Here we go.
They're already eating up AMC's profits right now by Amazon in movie theater, whatever it's called, where you can watch these movies that are being released.
Pay your premium from the comfort of your own house.
A lot of shit's going to Voodoo, honestly.
And why not? Why couldn't Amazon start their own NFL, XFL? But they have the money. If anybody has the money,
the Amazon Football League.
Yeah, exactly. the AFL again.
It's like a football with a smiley face.
Right. You could make some joke about delivering inflated balls. I don't know. Something like that.
They can have like ex-football players doing commercials and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're correct, but I think, a lot of these people that own teams, it's because they like football. It's not necessarily that it's financially viable.
Could Amazon ever buy a team?
I was going to say, it's fun.
Amazon could buy 5 teams.
Winning.
I would say probably half of the NFL owners are making their success as a businessman is based on their ownership, where half of them just are doing it because they have a lot of money and they like football. So, Jerry Jones, the end. Open and close book. We're not going into that.
Take an hour in and of itself.
Who did you just say?
I said that would take an hour.
Oh, I was talking to Mike. Who did Mike say?
I had to say go Eagles to balance out. I mean,
our
fan base is like Eagles fans, so
sure. all 6 of us. So. Fucking, I don't know. AMC closing is crazy. I mean, maybe they'll get bailout money. Maybe.
Why are these? Companies
fuck
under?
These companies. No. Fuck these companies getting bailout money.
I mean, I agree, but I like my IMAX theater, man.
I mean, if we're not...
No, it's capital. Someone else will buy the business once
and run it better
back to normal, and they're going to run it better than the dumbasses that couldn't survive 1 month without income. That's capitalism, period.
But if we reopen the economy and we maintain social distancing standards still... Even though we reopen the economy, aren't those places going to go down under now? I mean, why are they going under in the first place? They don't have to be open. Like, they're literally...
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, yeah. What are you paying for? I imagine even the rent on their buildings... But I mean, what is that in comparison to your business? I would think a movie theater on one busy day... makes their rent and overhead that day. You know what I mean? Like, I would hope so. Now, I'm not saying that every day is busy enough to pay their bills, but Fridays and Saturdays, I mean, those are busy days,
One would imagine.
And you can look at arguably shittier companies, like the service industry. Like, you could say, so how is a company, why isn't Applebee's, Chili's, Roadhouse, why can a company like Roadhouse afford to give his CEO forgo his entire salary for the rest of the year to pay his employees? They're not going under, and you're talking about a food. They're not making money right now. You know what I mean? They're just like the theaters. They are making no money to go orders, but they're surviving. Like, they're not going under. So maybe some people do actually run their businesses a little better, but. Food industry only pays their workers $2.13 an hour.
But even food industry workers can pay their rent on time. Like, that's where
not right now.
Well, not right now.
Not
but
currently.
But the issue with they got to pay rent. These companies they still have payments that they have to make and stuff like that. So you telling me that these companies are one payment away?
1 month
from being kicked out of their house, basically. Like, come on, like.
Yeah, from being
Mike. It's these irresponsible millennials that live paycheck to paycheck. Don't like hate on the businesses. Businesses are obviously run by intelligent adults that don't live paycheck to paycheck. The only thing that's being proven is that they do live paycheck to paycheck.
So I was wondering what AMC's stock was, and looking it up, I mean, their stock is the highest it's been in a year is $10.
So it's not even going down.
Well, what I'm saying, oh no, it's low. It's at like $2. It definitely dropped today. It dropped.
What did it drop from?
It dropped from like 3 to fucking 250. But what I'm saying is,
percentage-wise, it's big.
In terms of like a stock price, that company was not valued very highly to begin with. Maybe insiders in the movie business and whatever knew that they were living paycheck to paycheck, you know. But I don't know. What does that say when you're $1 billion company and your fucking revenue $5.4 billion? You're making $5.4 billion a year. That's 500,000 million, and you can't figure out. You just can't finagle a way to fucking make yourself in the green. Like, you can't be like, how do we take this $5 billion and cut a profit? Like, yeah,
it's embarrassing that there are literally companies that are living paycheck to paycheck. I thought it was just workers, but no, right? It's literally fucking companies. Yeah. Unless they're just bitching.
And the CEOs are being paid hand over fist, cash.
Yeah, he's making his fucking $200 million a year.
Yeah,
he's making 1% of his revenue. Yeah,
the CEO of AMC could fucking retire and be wealthy as shit for the rest of his life, while the company goes into the ground.
Adam Aaron, he is a co-owner of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, here we can say, for the record, fuck Adam Aaron and fuck the 76ers.
Wow. Adam does not like AMC, is what I'm getting
right?
from this.
Yeah.
No, I don't like rich fucks that screw everyone else.
What's his net worth? I wonder. Oh, he's actually not worth that much in comparison to these bigwigs. His net worth is $10.7 million.
I mean, did you see the price of AMC stock?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's literally what they're pointing out is he owns like 150,000 shares. So yeah, cool. That's worth a lot, but it's not worth that much.
He was probably worth more.
Oh yeah, one time. Yeah, definitely. It was probably up there in like 50 million. When your wealth is tied to stock, don't worry, they'll bail him out. It's fine.
Of course,
he's not gonna lose. Yeah, he's not gonna lose a paycheck.
They're gonna
because it'd be a tragedy for a man.
Delta.
Yeah, it'd be a tragedy for a man who was gonna make 50 million this year to only make 20. You know.
But what about the airlines? They're the ones that are saying, "Oh, we're hurting the worst."
Let them go bankrupt.
I don't necessarily agree with that, dude. An airplane costs a lot of fucking money.
Jason, no. I want to point out, as someone who I appreciate their economic opinion pointed out, if the airlines go bankrupt, the infrastructure is still there. The planes are there.
I can't travel. I can't go on vacation.
No. The planes are going to be there. The airports are going to be there. The companies can go up and go bankrupt. Someone else is just going to buy that airline and buy those planes.
But
nothing disappears. It's all still functioning, like it's there. Nothing leaves.
It's tangible.
But it doesn't necessarily mean, because again, we're talking about a pandemic. Do things change? Does pricing get better? Does customer service get better? Technically not, because the only reason these companies went over is because they were living paycheck to paycheck. But I don't know. In my understanding, the airline is a very hard thing to maintain because, I mean, it's just so expensive to run a fucking airline, you know?
Yeah, but it's going to be super cheap right now because gas is at a bare minimum. So say we bounce back a month from now and Delta has gone under. You can have someone, I I don't fucking know.
Amazon. You can have Amazon coming.
Yeah, let's say Amazon. Amazon decides to buy Delta. Gas is the lowest it's ever been. Delta's in bankruptcy. They get to buy a fuck ton of planes for discount prices and pay for a shit ton of gasoline at discount prices. And now they don't even need to use any of these other companies. It's capitalism fixing itself.
I mean, all that means to me is my Amazon deliveries are going to be way faster.
Exactly.
Faster than 2 or 3 days.
If they own an airline, oh man, they'd just be chucking packages out the window. Oh man.
No, they would upgrade their fucking drone research and they would just fly over and the drones would just go.
Yeah, like a carrier, basically. Just releases little drones.
Open the back of the drones would fall out with packages and they would just fly to your house and then they'd fly up to the next plane going by.
I did have a friend who works in the military. He does maintenance for jets, fighter jets and stuff like that. And he told me about how expensive it is just to maintain vehicle or whatever you want to call them, things that fly in the sky is very expensive to maintain. He said basically, you know, even if like rain were to come down onto one of our like F-16s or something like that, that would be an issue. That would need to be addressed. So I guess you could say like they're them bitching about like, oh well, we're, you know, it costs money to maintain these things, but who's flying right now?
No one.
You know,
No,
that's their only real thing that, I mean, other than their rent that they pay, you know.
Oh, do you guys see that China got 100 new corona cases? But it was all
100.
from this weekend. This weekend they got 100 new cases, but it was all from what do you call it? Like travelers. It was all on a plane apparently from Russia.
Oh.
Yeah, so don't worry, they got that taken care of. Those 100 new cases all coming from Russia.
This what happens to 100 people.
Yeah, exactly. They got those squared away. So
does that mean that we definitely need to be concerned of a secondary infection?
I mean, I feel like all the experts are saying that it's not even really a question of if. I think like the bright side would be like, that's not going to happen. But I mean, if you listen to anyone in the know, they're saying like, hey, come the fall, it's going to fucking happen again.
I mean, we have not tested more than 1% of the American population.
Yep.
How in the world can we even consider going back to work yet? Unless we really want that secondary infection.
So
hey, Greg Abbott says it's fine.
That was going to be my next question is, when do you guys legitimately see, and I know what my date is, I already have it. When do you see the service industry, or really the non-essential industries, going back to work? When do you think that will happen?
If we take it seriously?
No, right now. Just right now, your opinion. You're not in charge, just when
based on current behaviors.
Current information available to you and behavior.
I don't know, August 1st?
I think the middle of May. I think second week of May is when we'll be back to work.
When it will or when we should?
I did not say should. I said when we will, not when we should.
Better question would be
June 1st.
Do you think it'll go through May and then kick us in June?
I think they'll wait. They'll see it and they'll push it 30 more days and then it'll be like, this is ridiculous.
You peak at the end of April and then you wait 30 more days.
And it starts to go down, and once it starts going down, they're like, this is ridiculous. So
and then it'll be fine for the summer. Well, it'll do this throughout the summer, and then the fall will hit 2 or 3 months later, just like how it happened in China in December, maybe even as early as November, and it just spreads exponentially until February, March hit. Same thing, we'll be fine for 3 months, and then, oh my God, here it comes. Like,
yeah.
I mean, this
and
is
they'll go, we couldn't have known.
It's a good stress test.
We couldn't have known that this would have happened. Really?
It stress tests your hospitals, especially in these big cities. I mean, right now you kind of want to be in rural America. I mean, that's
I definitely don't want to be in the freaking medical industry. Andrew is sick right now.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Damn, I didn't know that.
I just found out yesterday.
How's he doing? He's got a little coffee?
Yeah, he just doesn't feel well, but he's been in a hospital for the past week working with sick patients, so
maybe he has it. Maybe he'll be fine, you know.
Dude,
I'm sure he'll be fine. He's in great shape. If it kills him, I'm gonna be freaked the fuck out.
Well, I mean, dude,
because I don't have a six pack.
They said 80 to 100% of our medical workers are expected to just get it at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, until there's a cure or a vaccine, I mean, what do you do? I hate to be that guy, but if you just don't work.
In a perfect world, can't you stay locked down until it is no longer in the ecosystem? Like, everyone works it out of their system. The people that are infected stay infected in their homes, and they get it out of their system. In a perfect world, but we have all these companies.
You have to do a super lockdown, though.
Yeah, like Adam was saying, you should be inside till August. And when I say inside, I mean like maybe I would hate to even say like, look, you can't go to the grocery stores. You got to call waiter to the government will reimburse waiter and make waiter free for food deliveries. And those are the people that can deliver your groceries. Like that, in a perfect way, that's what you would do.
And they're going to set them at your door.
Yeah.
And then they call you when they leave.
And they'll spray.
And then you open the door and you bring them inside.
Yeah, help the government.
Interaction whatsoever.
Yeah, let the government provide them with Lysol spray, and not only when they get these groceries and set them down, they spray all your bags with Lysol. And that would be the way that you would stop it, because I guarantee you that's what they did in these Asian countries. They did not let people just walk around and hang out in grocery stores.
South Korea was basically almost a tyrannical state. That's how they shut it down. They tracked people, they made them download an app, and they found out if you left your home, who you were around, if someone got sick, that you were in a building that you were at, they contacted you, you were forced to stay in your home. If you left your home after being told that you were around someone who was infected, you would be fined, etc. But as a libertarian, even I'm going, that seems logical. But Americans,
there's so many companies.
Freedom.
We need to go to church.
They're saying that they're essential. And that's seriously, like, I get mad at it because I'm like, this is the kind of stuff that's gonna keep this going on.
Ice cream, Mike. Ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, so to me, it's like, again, it's sides of a coin. So someone like me that has a rainy day fund working in the service industry, I think it's ridiculous that people are having to come to work 2 or 3 days a week to do to-go orders to make $7.25 to get a $150 to $200 paycheck every 2 weeks. That's not enough money to even matter. Mm-hmm. But to people without savings, I mean, they're picking up every shift. They're working 6-7 days a week, trying to get a $400 paycheck, trying to pay rent. And yeah, I can sit here and be like, well, that's just not possible. But unless you're going to forego rent, I mean, these people would lose their homes in a month. Like what do you do? How do you solve it? You do what Canada does, and you give everyone $2,000 for 4 months. And that's how you solve it. Everyone can pay their rent, and everyone can buy groceries. We're doing this for 4 months.
And you go home.
Fucking go to work. Yeah.
I feel like the Winston Churchill quote that's like super famous, like, when you're walking through hell, keep walking. I'm sure I butchered that, but like that's basically what it is. And I feel like we have to be as stringent as we are, maybe even more so than we've been. Korea. But I feel like if we lift that veil too early, fucking, that's game over. That's like, I mean, what I'm saying is, what if there's an infection at the pandemic rates that we're seeing now, what if that comes back within a few months? And we have to, and our economy has to go through this again. Like
But the argument is now we're a little more prepared. If we have to do it again in the fall, you're making that face. This is the trial by fire. Dude, if your fucking house catches on fire, you don't know what to do. If it catches on fire again, it's not going to necessarily be better, but you're going to be like, I've done this before. You got to be a little more calmer. Maybe avoid.
Yeah, my house is flooded before.
Out the window.
My house is flooded before. If it flooded again, I would be calmer. But we're talking about the government. It's not the same thing. It's the government. But
I guess what I'm saying is, realistically, they should be more prepared of how to handle it economically, socially, financially. They have a blueprint where they didn't have a blueprint before. And we're America. We're not going to use the European blueprint or the Chinese blueprint, God forbid.
We wanted to do the ones that works.
Yes, we're going to use our American one. It didn't work, but now we know. And I would think that it would run a lot smoother, hopefully, economically, this next time around. And I say next time, because there's got to be a next time. It's not done.
No, it's the flu at this point. That's the one thing that is true about it. Being the flu, it's a virus. It's going to be seasonal, probably. It's going to come around until we create a vaccine. And even then, it's not going to be 100% effective.
But how often does the flu hospitalize people? Like, I can count...
Plenty. Apparently, all the time.
What I've learned is it happens to tens of thousands of people every year.
And it's the same thing that COVID does.
So many at one time because there isn't a vaccine.
Yep.
If we had a vaccine, we'd cut the number down a lot.
Yeah, it spreads like almost twice as much as the flu does. It's just way more contagious. And people are dying for complications. It's not that people aren't just, I have COVID. It's that you get pneumonia. Like the flu gives people every year. Tons of people get pneumonia from the flu, and they die because of complications. It's the same thing.
But never do you hear during flu season, hospitals are being overwhelmed by hospitalizations of flu patients.
That's because we have vaccines. So you prevent the overwhelming numbers.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, you can go get it at Walmart.
Once we have the vaccine, there will not be overwhelming numbers. There's still be a lot of people.
She gets it every year.
But for the people that don't get it.
I just get the flu every year, so
yeah,
I become immune.
I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like the flu doesn't put people in comas. The flu.
It does. It does. I'm not saying that it's less.
No, it's just this is something that's underreported. I think it seems that this is dramatically worse, and it is worse.
It's 10 times worse.
It is, but my point is it's that much worse because we do not have a vaccine. Once we have a vaccine, it will probably still be worse, but it's not going to be...
It will just be... It'll become a seasonal thing.
It will not be a plague.
Yeah,
is what it feels like right now. It's a plague.
Once you have a vaccine, which I think, personally, maybe is 2 years out, so you might have another pandemic scare once or twice again. But once that vaccine comes out, it's going to become the flu. It's going to be, hey, these many people get it this year. There's 50,000 deaths every year that's attributed to it. It's a seasonal flu now. Like, that's what it is. Now you have the flu and you have COVID, So get your shots for both. I could see it becoming that.
I guarantee you a lot more people will get the COVID shot than you do the flu shot.
100%. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe...
Don't fucking... Bill Gates is trying to kill the...
I didn't say... Why are you bringing Bill Gates into this,
Because...
That's the
I'm a member of too many crazy Facebook groups.
Get your microchip. The microchips are coming, man. Get yours today.
So microchips and crazy government conspiracies to hunt, Mike.
Oh, God.
We're getting... Jason, did you watch The Hunt?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's definitely on par with those movies like
The Purge.
No, I haven't seen that, so I can't compare that. But I have seen Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies. I have seen Sharknado. Whichever.
This is a step above. Is the hut the step above or below?
No, this is right smack dab in the middle with that family of just overly grotesque scenes with these characters with short little monologues that have these grandstanding moments that last for 2 seconds. I would hesitate calling this a film. This is oh man.
It's a series of images that culminate in a credits scroll at the end.
It injects politics for like absolutely no reason that I can tell, other than to stir the pot.
It's to make your movies seem deep. That's the quick deep thing. Quick, make it political. See, our movie was a political thriller.
Yeah. It's if you're looking for anything meaningful, or anything that's smart, intelligent, don't watch The Hunt.
What was your favorite scene? What's your favorite moment in The Hunt?
The end was fantastic. When I
really?
knew that I wouldn't have to watch it ever again.
No.
The beginning was kind of interesting, as in because it's something different. But like again, we've seen this before in movies like Battle Royale. What's it called?
You've seen it done better, is what you mean.
Yeah, and none of those movies injected like hardcore politics. Like everything is politically related somehow.
That's the whole fucking point of the movie.
Okay, so
Adam has a very different view.
Yeah, go for
it. Speaking about the beginning of the movie, all right, we start with Emma Roberts. So you assume that this starlet is the main.
She's La La Land. Is that a bad choice to use?
She's been in
stuff. She's American Horror Story. We Are the Millers.
I'll look it up. You just keep typing.
I mean, Adam probably has visual aids. It's fine.
No, I got it. I got it going. Oh, she's in The Black Coat's Daughter, right?
Yeah, there we go. We start with Emma Roberts. So you think that this is the main character. Right off, like, it has to be maybe even 3 minutes in. Shot through the head. She's dead.
Wow, what a twist. I guess I can't watch the movie anymore.
Then we cut to Justin Hartley, who plays the Green Arrow.
Did The Last of Us already do that? Anyway, continue.
Another well-known face. He dies quickly.
If you watch The Green Arrow. It's because they couldn't afford any of these people. He's
been in other things, but he dies quickly as well.
They read the script and they said, "Kill me." That's what they said. They showed up for shooting that day and said, "Just kill me right here."
It starts off, it's just shitting on conservatives and calling people rednecks and whatever. Right. It's just shitting on people from the South.
Okay.
Your face is so judgmental.
That's not judgmental. That's just such a fucking nothing note. It's just so benign.
They pivot.
Okay.
One of my favorite scenes is whenever the main character, who is
the main character? I'm gonna look it up.
Nothing burger again.
She's ex-military.
She's Laura Croft. Basically.
It's like Betty Gillett. Is that who the main character is? I guess so. She's top billed. So okay.
Blonde? Yeah.
Yeah, she's blonde. She got big teeth, maybe. I don't know.
That's why she did so well in that movie.
Okay. So
anyways, and towards the middle to the end of the film, probably not 3/4 through, she wipes out this bunker full of people that were like sitting hunting them. It was just a bunch of rich liberals
that were hunting these people.
That were hunting these individuals.
So this is the halfway point where she stops.
And she's about to kill one of them, and this old guy named Don, who reminds me of my father-in-law, stops her because she's about to shoot a woman, and he was like, "You can't shoot her. She's injured. She doesn't pose you any threat anymore." And she asked her, "Do you think I shouldn't kill you because you're a woman?" And the girl goes, "No." And then she shoots her in the face.
Wait, so she asked the woman, "Should I not kill you because you're a woman?"
Correct.
And the woman says no.
Okay.
So it's supposed to make fun of how absurd, how conservatives are looked at, how liberals are looked at.
If I were,
I don't know.
If I were 9,
that'd be
be amazing. I would be flying off the handle saying this is the best movie ever. But if you are 18 years old and you're angry at the government, this is the movie for you. This is Equilibrium, starring Christian Bale, where gunshot is the coolest shit you've ever seen until you're like 16 and you're like, damn, that was a bad movie. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I compared. It's one of those movies where you watch it. It's a smart political thriller because you're 12.
No, and then the fucking twist is...
So wait. Okay, so she kills all the people in this bunker, and then...
Basically, she kills everyone. It's basically a Kill Bill style.
It's a battle royale.
No, it's more Kill Bill. She kills everyone in her way, and she makes her way to the person who set it all up to begin with.
Okay.
And then they're in her kitchen having a conversation about why all this took place. The whole point is, essentially, the person who set it up made a joke via text with her friends about doing something like this. She lost her job, and they all lost their jobs. So then a year later, they actually made it happen.
Thrilling.
I don't know. That's the context.
That's a twist ending?
No.
Where's the twist?
That's the context of the whole film.
Okay. I guess. So some people... It would be like if we were like, "Hey guys, let's go kill rich people," and then a year later we killed rich people.
Conspiracy theorists spun it out of control, and that made them lose their jobs.
Okay, got it.
So then they were like, "Fuck it,
we're actually gonna do it." Okay, so what's the twist ending?
Did I say there was a twist?
You fucking said there was a twist a lot.
No, the twist is that they went and picked these people out. They studied their social profiles.
It's like Saw. This is Saw now?
Sort of, yeah. The problem is they picked her based on her name, but the information they got was someone else's.
Oh, so they didn't know. Old switcheroo. They didn't know that
she was ex-military because they picked the wrong person.
Wow.
And that's why she just walks through and just slaughters everyone. Personally, though, I enjoyed it because it made fun of the stereotypes on both sides of the aisle.
So here are 2 critical reviews, and they're very short. Betty Gilpin battles the snowflakes in this bloody satire of polarized America. So that's why Adam liked it, right there. And then here's Mike's review. Whatever point the hunt may want to make, or whatever value it might hope to have, is pretty much obliterated by its violence and politics.
Thank you!
So there you go.
Bravo, Jason. Bravo.
Those are your 2 reviews. I don't know. It sounds like, dude, it sounds like it could almost be a decent movie.
I thought it was fun.
I thought Saw, comparing it to Saw, was a very good comparison because it's just like that. It's in that same group of movies where it's shock value. Like,
yeah, you don't go to see Saw. You go to see Saw for two things: the violence and the twist. That's the only reason people go to see Saw. You know, there's got to be a twist that you're looking for, and you know people are gonna get their fucking eyeballs ripped out and fed to them and melted with acid or something. You know, like that's what's gonna happen. But I don't know. That movie doesn't sound bad. I just hate like ham-fisted politics in my movies. I enjoy political messages when they come about like naturally. Like if the character doesn't have to say it, but the movie draws a parallel. Like, oh, you know, like Blade Runner. Blade Runner says so much about capitalism and corporations and all this shit, but it never says that, like, because it doesn't have to. But
how do you?
But when your movie goes, look at the dark future. Corporations have taken over everything. God, capitalism failed us.
No,
like,
how would you
I'd get up and walk out of the fucking theater.
How would you define they say it?
Ham-fisted, like do the characters say fucking? Do they say conservative? Do they say liberal? Do they say snowflakes?
No, they say they do say snowflakes.
Yep. Well,
they use the word deplorable.
Yep.
And
those are buzzwords for the next 5 years. You got them till this.
A Middle Eastern guy says, fuck, what is the word he used? Oh, problematic. Problematic is also
a
liberal buzzword that they love to use.
It's topical, so you could say it's like trendy. But realistically, if you watch that movie in like 10 years or 20 years, it's not going to hold up. You're not going to know what the fuck's going on.
It definitely won't make any sense.
See, I have such an issue with the core thing. Like, one of the big things about that movie was like, oh, political correctness. And it's like,
Mike's just angry as a social justice champion that people made fun of him.
No. Think of it this way, though. Like, who goes to Fox News and doesn't think that they're going to get a conservative view? And who goes to MSNBC and doesn't think that they're going to get a liberal spin on it? Now, does that mean that they're trying to pull a fast one on you? Which that's what a lot of these people, they go all up in arms. Oh, man. You know, but it's like the story changes. The narrative is twisted with that flavor. Now, and people get real like up in arms about it, saying like, oh, well, they're just trying to be politically correct and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, like I don't know. I just have an issue with that. Like, and they touch base on that point in the movie a lot, and so I just like couldn't get on board with that at all.
They do lay it on a little thick. I'll give Mike that. It's laid on pretty thick.
Did anyone see Black Klansman? No one. Okay, just continue.
Sounds like...
I think me and Emily watched it, but
we were talking about.
I unfortunately think I fell asleep.
Like that movie was really well done. And then like the last minute,
I thought were really well done.
Yeah, the movie was great, and then like Adam Driver is amazing.
But
he's such a good actor.
Tons of great actors.
And then like the last 2 minutes,
the guy was amazing.
Oh, what is
picturing his face, but I don't know his name.
It is John David Washington or Adam Driver. They're the two leads. I mean,
no, I'm talking about John David Washington,
the black guy. Yeah,
he was. And Adam Driver's always amazing.
No, Adam Driver really. I felt like he carried that film on his. Like his acting is just so good in it. But anyway, my whole point to even bring that up was that such a great film. Yes, the politics are there, but they're to service of the story, and it tells a good story. Mm-hmm. And then like the last minute or two, it's just like a big. It's like a mini movie about like Ferguson and all this shit, just ham-fisted in there. And I remember just being like, why did they do that? Like, why? They had such a good movie, and it is
because
a good movie.
I'll recommend it.
In case you didn't get it, racism's still alive in America. Yeah, I fucking know. Like, please, like when you show it to me, it's just so like you were saying, ham-fisted her in your face, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I wanted to see a good story about racism. I don't know. I didn't want to watch a movie about Ferguson. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a racist. Who knows?
No, you're saying that because the only movie that meant anything was American History X. Like when you look at like racism, like the modern like view of racism.
and Malcolm X, I think, was very big when it came out too.
Why is it? Yeah, there's like X in every single racial
racism, right?
Yeah, like what is going on? But yeah,
it's a coincidence. No, American History X, that hits hard.
Well, but because it's a story that
all can relate to.
It's enormous.
It should be pretty prominent, and it should be more widely viewed, especially nowadays when you have this resurgence of white nationalism and white supremacy.
All right, that's it for this episode, guys.
I think American History X is an important film to be viewed.
It's one of those movies that it doesn't matter how far in the future you are, how long ago it was, it's still just as impactful as it was when you first saw it.
Well, it's
even though there's no smartphones, there's
no, but it's a smart film. It shows.
Ooh,
thanks. I mean, because it shows how good ideas can get twisted and stuff. Like, helping your community isn't a bad idea. Helping your community because you're all white people, it's probably a bad idea. Probably not going to end well.
See, there's nothing that NDS that we can't cover. I mean,
yeah, right. Well, and it's just, it shows how, and that movie is political on so many levels. Without it, it is in your face because it has to be. But again, I mean, it's like corruption of power. The guy that runs their little social white nationalist party, like how he's taking advantage of the youth.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many little sub stories that work, and then the consequence of your actions, the tragic ending. It's like, yes, you can reform and do better, but it doesn't mean that what you did in the past won't come back and haunt you. It's such a good film. The Hunt is probably up there with American History X. Probably one of the greatest political thrillers of our time. I'll be revered for generations.
By only one man.
Joe
I just said it was entertaining. It had some interesting comments. Is there anything else that anyone would like to contribute and say coming on?
Well, I think we should try and do like a Better Call Saul review or something like that next week or something.
Yeah, I need to. Well, we'll be on episode 9 is airing tonight. They aired tonight.
Oh, I gotta say that last episode 8.
I haven't seen it.
Is the best episode so far.
So we got 7 and 8 to watch, and then we'll have 9. So yeah, next week we could definitely discuss how we think the finale is gonna go.
Okay, I've got 5 episodes to watch.
Yeah, I mean, but it's Better Call Saul. You watch them like popcorn, man. Like literally, it's like, where's the next one? Where's the next one? Where's the next one? Because I predict that in the last. In the finale of this season, we're gonna have a 15-minute shot of Mike going to the grocer and buying food, and that's really where the series is gonna peak, right there. The 15-minute grocery shopping trip, and it'll be long. The shots will be intelligent, and then who knows where next season will go from there.
Mike, you have anything else you want to wrap up with?
Nope, that's about it.
No.
All right, well, I guess that's going to be all for this week on Nerdy Drunk and Stoned. Where can people find y'all?
At my house.
Online.
At the _Renrag.
The, like, THE_Renrag?
It's under his picture.
Oh, okay, yeah. Got
you
it.
can see it.
You're not gonna find me, sorry. But we will be discussing, I hope we're all done with Final Fantasy by next week, because we'll talk more about that also.
Yeah, it's going to get even deeper.
Yeah.
Please be sure to comment down below, share with your friends, like and subscribe. If you want to get updates about new videos, be sure to click that bell. And we're going to see you guys next week. Bye.